MakOne. I'm 38 years old. I live in Lansdowne, just outside the CBD. I'm a graffiti artist, and I'm at the TEDx Table Mountain art auction. When I was born, I started with my mom and dad having a good time. Pow, wow, wow. I fell in love. I was born. They chose the name Maxwell because my dad traveled and he discovered other names besides John, Peter, Johan, whatever. But we were living in Retreat, Gossip Park. And at that time, my grandfather was my favorite being at the time, I would say. Because my dad wasn't around that much, he was traveling for work. And because of my birth name, he called me Mac as a kid all the time, since the age of 1, when I was born. And he was amazing with gardens, and he did painting and he built things. And he was a guy I looked up to and inspired me, being creative and always like when you're a kid, you soak up so much things in. And when I began doing graffiti art, I took that name to respect and the good memories I have from growing up in an area where poverty is rife, violence is everyday occurrence, and that was the one thing that was a negative thing happening, but it was the one thing that kept me positive all the time. And it was graffiti is the one thing was the running parallel to my life, no matter what happened. It was constant. It kept me going, and then through him and graffiti, I became who I was, am, and will be. He was, like I think like everyone else in the neighborhood and in the country during the time growing up, especially in the time when South Africa was before '94. Going through hardship, struggling every day, getting things done, making things work, make sure your family's okay, and still trying to be a sane person as well at the same time. And while I'm a kid growing up, not knowing all these things, the things that came through his actions, no matter what he said or or spoke about, it's usually the actions that you follow. And I couldn't understand what he was saying. Obviously, he was talking about different things, but when he did things, that's what I kept in my mind. The things he did, the things he got involved in, the things he created every day. That's why I'm looking after amazing gardens, growing stuff with building amazing things, painting. So I think the thing I learned from him, like most males in an impoverished area, don't say much because you're frustrated or you're not educated enough to say things in a very clever way. But what he did spoke louder than any words he could ever say to me. My daughter was born, 98. She comes first, graffiti comes second. At this moment, she's only 15, and she's really young on this planet. She's an individual on her own. I brought into this world, and she didn't ask for it. But I have to offer the best I can, be it in showing all possibilities of this world we live in. The place you grow up in is not the only place on the planet. The friends you grow up with is not going to be only friends. As you grow older, the things will change. You will change. Your likes will change. Sometimes your home base changes as well. You move to a different place. Wow. In this world we live in, for women, it's still harsh. Even though most people love their moms, but the respect for women is still very low. So to her to be a very strong, independent, powerful, caring, giving, generous, amazing individual and a woman, and that to hand it over to everyone else that she in contact with, and to help make this world a better place, man. And hopefully, she'll be part of the generation of kids who just go like, yo, we don't agree with what happened in the past, and we don't want this in the future, so we have to do something. Instead of becoming just part of the mall generation or the easygoing generation, we just take everything as it comes and just we can't do anything. So I would probably say that I don't really care about fame or about status. When you say you're a graffiti artist, or they see you in public eye, or they see you in media, people always think they attach so much things onto you before they have a conversation. So when you meet an inspiring artist or an inspiring person who's inspired by your work, they come with a preconceived idea, or they come with the idea of like, oh, that's what person is, and they're all nervous, or they're all like, uncomfortable. But I don't know, I'm just another human being doing what I love doing, and I'm not here to say that I'm better than you. I'm just here to show like, yo, if I can do what I love doing, anyone can do it. It doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your color, it doesn't matter your circumstance. You can be the poorest person, you can be the richest person, doesn't matter. All of that doesn't matter until you actually do what you love doing, and you're willing to share it with everyone else, and actually willing to be you, full on you, without compromise. That anything is possible. If someone can do, if someone can actually able to draw something on that scale, that's the usual thing I get. People's like, how do you get to that scale? It's like, well, I didn't give in to my limitations. I pushed myself. Sometimes hard work, actually most times hard work pays off. And to believe in yourself, even if no one believes in you, your parents don't believe in you, like the closest person to you don't believe in you, that they believe you have in yourself. They actually to go forth and actually pursue the stuff you love doing, and that's such a broad thing. I do art, so people like I can't do that. So I don't expect you to do the same thing I do. Find something that you love doing, and go for it. If it's now, it doesn't mean it has to be tomorrow. It can change all the time. So it's the thing of belief in yourself, the thing of like knowing that that anything is possible.